Bless the Lord, O my soul. Today is another day that we have gathered to be in the house of the Lord and to discuss the coronavirus pandemic and how it affects the lives of individuals, the life of the members of the church, and different businesses sectors in Jamaica, and also in the church itself. So today we are here to speak a little, give a little opening highlight of the coronavirus and how it operates. My name is Elvis Gray, and I attended the King's Chapel United Pentecostal Church. It's located on Albion Road, Montego Bay. I am a member of the church, and I have many studies in agriculture, science, and in the field of science and management. I also studied virology and pathogenesis, where we looked at, when we talk about pathogenesis, we talk about different types of pathogens and how pathogens affects human being and also animals. So today we want to look at pathogens. Pathogens are, for example, bacteria, viruses, fungi, and some systemic parasites are classified as the broad-heading pathogens. But today we are going to look at viruses, one aspect of pathogen, viruses. But before I go in depth to deal with the coronavirus that we want to look at today, we might be talking about some terms that may, and their abbreviations, and we just want to look at first WHO means World Health Organization. We have PACO, which is the Pan American Health Organization. We have the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control. We have the NIHS, which is the National Institute of Health. So we're looking at those abbreviations may occur during our sessions today, and we hope that you who are listening will follow through with these abbreviations. But these abbreviations will comes up during our discussion and our presentation today. However, coronavirus are a large family of viruses. So it is not small, it's large. Coronavirus is not just since January 2020. Coronavirus is around for approximately 20 years now. Researchers over the world in different virological laboratories has been researching coronaviruses and to see how well they can understand the virus methodology of work. They also look at coronavirus to find remedial measures that can be taken to control if there is an outbreak. However, remember that it is a large family of viruses. Because corona is a large family of viruses, coronavirus ranges from the common cold to COVID-19 presently. There are several different strains of the virus. As I said, it mutates over a period of time and carry different strains. So in 2012, we have seen one strain of the coronavirus. In 2003, we have seen another strain of the coronavirus. And in 2019, we have seen another strain of the coronavirus. However, it keeps the researchers and scientists busy trying to get antibiotics that can counteract, or reagents that can counteract the spread of the virus. Okay, so today we look at the first strain we look at is the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, which is known as SARS. And SARS was first found in the Middle East and domesticated camels in 2012 in Saudi Arabia. We also look at Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, SARS. SARS first found in sea cats in China in 2003. This virus have been around spreading, and we are putting our best in order to mitigate the further spread of the virus. So we look at COVID, which is another strain of the coronavirus. COVID is a new strain of the coronavirus that has not yet been previously identified in human beings. COVID has been around in other organisms, and because coronavirus is a zoonotic disease, meaning that it can spread across a wide cross section of different chordata, especially sea cats, camels, human beings. So it can go across different chordatas like mammalians, avians, reptiles, just to name a few. And it can affect all these different chordatas of organisms. That's why it is very difficult to control and contain coronavirus. And that's why measures has to put in place in order to mitigate the spread of this virus. Because the coronavirus also can mutate and form a new strain, which we don't know yet what it will be. So detailed investigation have shown that SARS-CoV was transmitted from sea cats, civet sea cats, to human beings in China in 2003. So COVID virus is around for about 7 years now. Or more than 7 years now, scientists has been tracking this virus, but it was not yet found in human being. In the early days, it is since 2003, we have realized that the COVID strain of the coronavirus is able to spread from civet cats to human beings. And we also noticed that MERS COVID affects domesticated camels in Saudi Arabia and is transmitted or transferred from domesticated camels to human beings. So because this virus can be transferred from animals to human beings, it shows that it is zoonotic and it is able to move across different chordata of living organisms. Several coronavirus are circulating in the animal kingdom that have not yet been infected or not yet affected human beings as yet. But scientists across the world and even in local areas are continuously doing monitoring and surveillance of these animals and to test to see if they have any strain of the COVID and how they can pull these animals in and treat them for the COVID virus. Because coronavirus is an influenza, some of the common signs of COVID includes respiratory symptoms. So because it is an influenza type disease, you find that people can have respiratory symptoms like coughing, stuffiness, sneezing, nausea, and even shortness of breath or difficulty in breathing. You'll find that amongst people because it is an influenza as well. In several cases, infections can cause pneumonia. So in several cases, the infection of the coronavirus can cause pneumonia in human beings. With an acute respiratory syndrome, it can affect your kidney and even cause death in human beings. So that is how the coronavirus affects us as individuals. So I hope that persons are clear and understanding how the coronavirus affects individuals and how it is transferred from human being. So once you come in contact with an infected organism, you are going to be infected by the COVID coronavirus strain. Some coronavirus can be transmitted from persons to persons, and this is where in 2019 scientists have realized that COVID-19 can be transmitted from persons to persons. In Wuhan, China, where the epicenter of the breakout of the pandemic COVID-19, scientists did not know. They know that organisms had COVID, but they did not know that human beings can contract the coronavirus from animals to themselves. So it was an alarming state for them to know that the virus is able to contract from the wildlife animals to human beings. So because it can be transferred from or transmitted from human beings to animals and from animals to human beings, now they are realizing now that it steps up a little further, that it can be transferred from human beings to human beings. That means that if an infected individual who has the strain of COVID-19 come in close contact with an uninfected individual, that uninfected individual will be contaminated with COVID-19. And the serious case of COVID-19, it affects individual at a mild level, meaning that you are not aware of how and you are not aware of when you contracted this virus. So because this virus is there and it affects individual so mildly, some people may not even know that they have the coronavirus. So protection is one of the major key role that church members, the wider society has to put into practice. Follow all health protocol guidelines, meaning that wearing of masks, hand sanitizing, washing of hands. Ensure that when you're coughing or sneezing, you use a napkin or paper towel to do so and dispose into a bin, a disposable bin, so that you don't spread the virus, because it is airborne, and once you're in a close proximity and you cough openly, droplets will spread by the wind within the atmosphere, and it can be inhaled into person's nostril. It can also drop on person's lips and other surfaces, and it can also be taken up by individuals. So method of spread of the coronavirus are some of those. Persons can contract COVID-19 through cough or exhaling. They releases droplets, as I said before, of infected fluids to uninfected persons. If persons are standing within 1 meter of those persons, they can be affected once they are coughing, sneezing, or inhaling, and they are infected and you are standing 1 meter of them, you are also able to be infected by the virus. Most of these droplets falls on nearby surfaces and other objects. So people touching places, you have to remember to wash your hands and sanitize your hands, because you can easily contract the COVID-19 by touching surfaces that infected droplets are deposited. Person can also be infected with COVID-19 by touching the T areas. And when I said T areas, I mean the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. That's the T areas of the body. So touching other surfaces and touching your T areas, you are opening up the body for the contamination of the COVID-19. So COVID-19 can be spread by touching your T areas, coughing in crowded areas, coughing in closed areas, coughing openly, inhaling and exhaling. You can spread the virus, because droplets from your nostril, your mouth, can fall onto odd surfaces or objects and can be picked up by others unknowingly and can be spread to those individuals. After the outbreak of the new or the novel coronavirus, which is COVID-19, because it is new to human beings, in China, it was declared a pandemic. And why it is declared a pandemic? Because it's affecting many nations now. So the World Health Organization look at the virus and realize that the virus becomes now pandemic, affecting a whole lot of individuals across the globe. It is also causing severe deaths in other countries. Luckily, we in Jamaica may not have the number of deaths that some countries even having. In the Caribbean also, the closest neighbors to us that had a lot of death was the Dam Rep. Dam Rep has the highest number of deaths within the Caribbean. And the PACO, which is a Pan American Health Organization, has to help them to step up the quarantine measures and the isolation, stay-at-home measures in order to reduce the spread of the coronavirus. Lucky enough, Jamaica was not able to have that massive death toll, and the spread is sort of confined now. We're at about 590 something infected persons, of which we had over 60% recovery of those persons, which is very good. Shows that the country has been making stride in order to contain the spread of the virus, and persons are recovering. Out of that, we have 10 deaths. Yesterday we recorded 1 death, and we realized that we now are at 10 deaths. But nevertheless, we cannot lose track of the fact that the disease is still out there and it is still prevalent amongst us. We realize that younger people are affected by the coronavirus, of which we saw in other countries older folks dying from coronavirus. Even in the United States of America, we find that a lot of old persons died from coronavirus. And to be honest, we realize that even in the US, you have the virus is climbing, the death toll is climbing so rapidly, and the virus is not under control. We look at even South America, Brazil, the death and the infection rate is high, getting higher each day. Persons are contracting the COVID-19 virus down there rapidly. But measures has to be put in place in order to curtail the spread of the virus. As the CMO here would say, they're trying to flatten the curve of the virus. And our Honorable Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, as the head of the National Disaster Risk Management Committee, is working hard to maintain the social distancing, protective gears, maintain stay at home, maintain washing of hands, putting in sanitary measures. The church has to follow those protocols. The church has to follow those guidelines. Ensure that proper social distancing at worship sessions are followed through. Proper sanitization has to be taking place with members of the congregation. And even individuals who are members of the church comes to church has to practice proper hygiene. If you go to the restroom, you need to wash your hands. If you cough into a napkin or a paper towel, you dispose it into a bin. Wash your hands with soap and water. If you don't have soap and water available, use a hand sanitizer of 60% alcohol base in order to minimize the spread of the virus. At home, you have to also train up your children and teach them how to wash their hands properly. The happy birthday song, and washing their hands. Teach them how to the real purpose of washing hands. Teach them the seriousness of the coronavirus. Don't scare them. Teach them how to protect themselves, wearing of masks in public places. Stand off 2 feet from individuals when communicating. No shaking of hands, no hugging, no kissing. Those things you have to teach them so that they will not be contaminated by the coronavirus. However, viruses cannot be cured. They can only be treated. So we can only treat viruses, but we cannot cure viruses. Once it is contracted, it is contracted. There is no cure for viruses. Viruses are not like bacteria and fungi that can be cured. Viruses are uncurable, but they can be treated. That's why there is no cure for HIV. There is no cure for the common cold that we have. Medical practitioners can only give you treatment that can mitigate or lower the infestation levels of the virus. So virus cannot be cured, it can only be treated. So persons has to take all the necessary precautionary measures in order to protect themselves from contracting the coronavirus, which is COVID-19. Coronavirus, like COVID-19, can stick. It strikes out some foot-like areas of the virus, and it sticks onto surfaces. Good. It also has claw-like shapes. So those prongs that it puts out has claw-like shapes. And these claw-like shapes permeates healthy human cells. And by permeating these healthy human cells, it infected these cells. All right? So it infected the cells and caused the cells to start to malfunction. And while the cells start to malfunction, you are going to start to feel ill in your body. But scientists are now trying to use genetical code sequences known as messenger RNA or RNA or mRNA, which will help to decode the virus. So we have to decode the virus in order to confine it or in order to suppress it. So messenger RNA is a single-stranded RNA molecules that corresponds to the genetical sequence of the genes. So it helps to correspond with the genetical sequence. Remember, they're only chemical. And we talk about RNA, which is ribonucleic acid, which is found in the nucleus of the cell. And you have DNA, which is diribonucleic acid, which has to do with your genes. So RNA and DNA works together in your cells, and they replicates and replicates and replicates for you to be a continuous living organisms. So with this in mind, if the coronavirus can affect the cell and messed up the codation of the messenger RNA, and also affects the tRNA, which is a transferred RNA, or the ribosomal RNA, which is a RNA, it can damage our cells severely. And this is where, when our cells is damaged, it causes death, major illness and death. So once the coronavirus goes down through the larynx, inhale or are absorbed through the T areas of the body, goes down through the trachea and go through the epiglottis and down into the oesophagus. It traverses down to the lungs and the bronchioles of the lungs, which it can cause severe damage to the bronchiole and the organs or the tissues that helped in gaseous exchange within the lungs, because the heart will pump the blood to the lungs, and then the lungs gaseous exchange taking place at the lung stage, where carbon dioxide from the cells has released and comes out as your breath, while the inhalation of oxygen goes down into your lungs and filters into your bloodstream and goes through your heart and pumps right back to your cell to oxygenate the cells, so that the nucleus and the ribonucleic acid remains functional within your cells, and the replication of these nucleus and molecules continuously to take place. Also, the replication of cells for your skin to maintain that young pigment, that same pattern. It has to replicate and replicate and replicate. For you growing from a toddler to an adult, your skin has to replicate and continuously. Your cells has to replicate. So old cells die and new cells, replicated cells, take over and continue the functionality of the human body. So it continues to make the body functional. So the system will continue to depend on the prompt response of the immune system when the coronavirus hits the body. So the immune system will react when the Streaks protein of the coronavirus is detected, and it tries to block the infected process or the infection process. So the body immune system will send out antibodies that will block or fight or trying to ward off, as Jamaican would say, the foreign body, which is the COVID